Have you seen what's happening in your sanctuary lately? Join us right now for another episode of Your Sanctuary, a program that highlights what makes our National Marine Sanctuary so special and the people that keep them that way.
Thank you for joining us on the Central Coast Experience and our journey along the shores of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Our next show will focus on Monterey Bay, so stay with us on Your Sanctuary. Welcome to Your Sanctuary. My name is Paul Michelle, and I'll be your host for this special show that will highlight many of the amazing things to do and wonderful places to visit on the Central Coast of California, all along the shores of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. This sanctuary is one of America's most spectacular marine protected areas, with beautiful beaches, jewel-like tide pools, lush kelp forests, deep ocean canyons, and an offshore seamount, all just teeming with life. Monterey Bay is one of 14 underwater parks that are managed and protected by the National Marine Sanctuary System, all told encompassing more than 170,000 square miles. We are proud to be custodians and stewards of America's ocean treasures. These places mean so much to communities, our culture, and our livelihood. This show speaks to the importance and connection of sanctuaries with recreation and tourism. We call it the Central Coast Experience. Come on, let's dive into Your Sanctuary. No trip to Monterey would be complete without a stroll down Cannery Row, the historic district made famous by John Steinbeck and the booming sardine factories of yesteryear, now transformed into a world-class tourist destination with fantastic shops and restaurants, incredible hotels, and the amazing Monterey Bay Aquarium, which features the animals and plants of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. We're at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, a world-class destination right here on Cannery Row. And joining me is Hank Armstrong, Vice President of Communications for the aquarium. Welcome, Hank.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for joining us.
So tell us about the mission of the aquarium.
Well, the mission of the aquarium began with its founding. 4 marine biologists who had spent much of their lives studying the bay had the idea to build an aquarium that interpreted this sanctuary just off our decks. And so that's exactly what it does. It focuses on the habitats of Monterey Bay and how the animals adapt to those. We're in one of the richest marine regions in the world, so it deserves its own showcase.
And tell us about the visitorship here.
We have about 2 million visitors a year, and that is much of what we do, is offer exhibits for people to see what the bay looks like. We also get engaged in research, scientific research with school education programs for about 90,000 kids a year who visit for free, with policy, ocean policy, so there's a lot more than meets the eye in the aquarium.
It's a beautiful day here. There's a lot of folks that are looking at the exhibits. We want to get in there too and see some. So thank you so much for having us.
I'll join you.
We're halfway through our journey down the coast of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Here at Custom House Plaza, right across from Fisherman's Wharf, this place is alive with history. From the early Spanish colonial period, the Mexican territory, to California statehood, this place has been a center of commerce and activity. People come here now from all around to enjoy the scenery, to enjoy the history, even take the Path of History tour. The history of Monterey continues with fishing at Fisherman's Wharf. where tons of sardines once were shipped out daily, now tourists and residents alike come to Fisherman's Wharf to enjoy the great restaurants and shops, to go sailing, recreational fishing, or go whale watching. Or what I'm going to do, and that's grab a cup of coffee. Our last stop in Monterey is from the top of the watershed at Jack's Peak Regional Park. And behind me is the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. We're up here to get a perspective on watersheds, that we're all connected by the land and the sea. Over 26,000 square miles of land drains into the sanctuary, reminding us that what we do on land matters to the ocean. And we're so fortunate here at the sanctuary to have a whole cadre of volunteers, citizen scientists that keep your sanctuary clean and pristine. Well, today we're in Pebble Beach and I'm standing on the 18th tee. This is a world-famous golf course overlooking the National Marine Sanctuary. Visitors come here to enjoy spectacular views and some of the best golf anywhere. Along 17 Mile Drive, there's great turnouts to stop and take in the amazing vistas. Lone Cypress is perhaps the most photographed tree on the Central Coast, and the famous logo for Pebble Beach. We're in Carmel-by-the-Sea to visit one of the most beautiful beaches in all the Central Coast. You know, people come from all over the world to enjoy the white sand beach, the amazing views, and all the great shops, restaurants, and art galleries in town. Come on, let's ride up and have some fun. Joining me here in the tasting room at Bernardus is Bernardus' very own Matt Shea, and we want to learn more about these local wines. Matt, welcome to your sanctuary.
Thank you, Paul.
Tell us about Bernardus.
Well, Bernardus Winery is the dream of our owner, Ben Pon. He's a Dutch man. He traveled the whole world before deciding Carmel Valley was the perfect location to start his winery. We focus on 4 wines here: a Chardonnay, a Pinot Noir, a Sauvignon Blanc, and our Bordeaux-style red, Marinus.
Well, obviously, where grapes are grown is really important to wine quality. But tell us about the influence of the ocean on wine and grapes.
Well, the ocean has quite an influence on the climate in all of our vineyards. It has a submarine canyon that provides very cold water and this upwelling of cold air that influences the weather, the fog, and the wind up and down the Salinas Valley and the Carmel Valley, providing us with many different growing regions and different climates, so we can grow a tremendous variety of grapes.
So wine in Monterey County is actually really growing in its popularity. In fact, there was some recent recognition for that and distinct wines that are here. Tell us about that.
Yes, Wine Enthusiast magazine recognized Monterey Bay as one of the top 10 wine destinations in the world. And celebrating the coastline, the Pinnacles National Monument, all the wonderful things to see and do here, as well as the wonderful wines and wineries, make it a great destination.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Matt, for being on your sanctuary. With awesome wines here in Carmel Valley and the Bernardus Lodge and Winery, this is a great place to visit and make it part of your Central Coast experience. And now a word from local dive legend Phil Salmon about why Monterey is one of the premier dive locations in the world.
This area is by far the most diverse temperate water zone that I know of, full of marine mammals and of course our endangered otter. It should be protected because of my daughter. You know, I want her to have exactly what I have had. You know, I've made a living here. I've been so connected to this ocean. It needs to be protected, and of course I want the children, the next generation, to have the same as I have had.
Well, we're just past Carmel and Point Lobos, and we're driving down the Big Sur coast, a national scenic byway. And behind me is the famous Bixby Bridge. You know, the wildlife viewing and the views are just amazing on this highway. You might see a condor overhead, or out to sea a few whales passing by. We're in Big Sur Station, in the heart of Big Sur, where you'll find some of the best picnicking, camping, and hiking in all of California. The redwood trees and the steep mountains and waterfalls, they're just truly spectacular. Big Sur also offers great opportunities to shop and load up on all your picnic and camping needs. Just to the north of San Simeon along Highway 1, there's a great opportunity to see some amazing marine mammals. Back from the brink of extinction, the northern elephant seal has made quite a comeback. We're so fortunate to have this large colony of elephant seals right here in San Simeon, part of two big colonies on the central coast, one at Año Nuevo and one at Piedras Blancas, where we are now, the largest mainland colony of northern elephant seals. And we're also very fortunate to have a group of folks who are dedicated to their protection, the Friends of the Elephant Seals. And joining me is Brant Kehoe, who's president of the Friends of the Elephant Seal.
The seals you see on the beach with us now are in the ocean 10 months of the year, and while they seem to be very lazy, during the 10 months of the year they will 24 hours a day come to the surface for about 2.5 minutes and dive anywhere from 1,000, the record now is over a mile deep. They will forage for fish, usually fish and squid and all sorts of things, down between 1,000 and 3,000 feet. And they do that 24 hours a day, 10 months of the year. When they're here, they're fasting, no food and no water. Now, these animals are here right now to molt. They can't grow skin at sea without circulating their very warm blood right next to the very cold ocean. So instead they come on shore and carry out that replacement of dead skin cells and hair cells that we do continuously. They do it all in the space of 1 month.
Tell us about Friends of the Elephant Seal, what you guys do to help protect them.
We got started primarily to keep people and elephant seals apart. Now that is not much of a problem with the railings and the walkways and so forth. We have very little bad behavior by our human visitors or by our seals. And so we spend most of our time telling people about these remarkable animals.
So if folks want to learn more about these amazing animals, can they go to your website and check out?
Yes, www.elephantseal.org. Not too hard to remember. We have a webcam, so you can actually watch them live. There's a lot of information there, not just on the elephant seals, but on all the marine mammals that populate the Central Coast.
Brant, thank you so much for being on your sanctuary.
My pleasure.
We are at William Randolph Hearst Memorial Beach, just right across the street from famous Hearst Castle on beautiful San Simeon Bay. And behind me is the Coastal Discovery Center. And with me is Carolyn Skinder, the Southern Region Program Coordinator for the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Carolyn, tell us about the Coastal Discovery Center and about what visitors can expect to this beautiful location.
We get visitors from all over the state and all over the world because they're attracted to Hearst Castle. The elephant seals. Piedras Blancas Light Station. They all stop here to enjoy this park, the picnic area, the kayak concession, and our beautiful pier. Wildlife viewing, and then they can come into the Coastal Discovery Center to have all kinds of questions answered from their amazing experience here. So oftentimes we'll get questions on everything from the elephant seals to the native and introduced plants that line our coast, to maritime history. So we have a wonderful exchange. We are manned by docents who are very well trained to handle all of those topics, and they really enjoy meeting people from all over the world.
San Simeon Bay, Coastal Discovery Center, the Hearst Castle, it's all right here. It's a great place to be. Carolyn, thank you so much for being on Your Sanctuary.
Thank you for having me, Paul. I love being here, and come on and visit.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our sanctuary journey down the California Central Coast. And here in the town of Cambria, we're enjoying the great shops and restaurants and art galleries. And one of my favorite things to do is to take a walk along the boardwalk on Moonstone Beach, where you can see harbor seals year-round, and in late winter you can often see gray whales. You know, California state parks and sanctuaries have put together some great interpretive signage along the path too. So come on, let's take a look. Well, just a few miles south of Moonstone Beach here on Fiscalini Ranch in Cambria, we've come to the end of our journey. A rock just offshore marks the southern boundary of Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. We've seen some incredible places, some amazing wildlife along the way, and we hope we've whetted your appetite to learn more, to come and visit, to explore, and rediscover the wonders of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. To learn more about sanctuaries and our coastal communities, tune in to Your Sanctuary TV.